Alright, so this is Alaska. Alaska's my bearded dragon. I do have two bearded dragons. One lives with me, and then the other one lives with my boyfriend. This is a subadult. So he's still really big, like, trying to compare him, like, my hand and stuff. He's really big. Adults get about 2 to 3 feet. Matters on the type of bearded dragon you have. So, yeah, I will insert a picture of my other bearded dragon somewhere in the video, and his name is Spike. So this is Bearded Dragon 101. Bearded dragons are lizards, if you aren't aware. They are reptiles, if you aren't aware. Bearded dragons are something that I would consider for beginners. Their personalities are amazing. They're really full of life. They love to eat. If you get the right bearded dragon, who's running all over my makeup desk, okay, he's gonna have to go away. Alaska did have to go away because he wasn't listening, and I wanted to record this video right now, and so you'll see him in his tank later. But so bearded dragons are for beginners. They're really simple to take care of, but with any animal there is certain care for them. Now bearded dragons, reptiles care range a lot more than like a dog's care. Most dogs, you gotta give them food, water, take them out. Reptiles care, you gotta get them food, water, take them out so they can enjoy the sun. You gotta make sure that, like, you clean their tanks. You gotta make sure they have the right heat. There's a lot more into reptiles than just like a dog or a cat. So with bearded dragon, so I have a list here so I didn't forget anything, and I'm sure I'm still gonna forget stuff. But bearded dragons do need enclosures. They can't roam your house willingly because they need to make sure that they get their heat and their UVB, which I'll get into in a little bit later. For a baby, you want to probably have about a 20-gallon long tank. That's big enough for them to have enough space, but it's also small enough that they find all of their food, which is really important. I did not do that with Alaska because I was stupid, but he did eat and we were good. Babies can be really small. You can get a baby about this big, including their tail. So it's really important to make sure you do get a smaller tank for them. Adults, you need to have at least a 40-gallon breeder or larger. Now, Alaska, he is a subadult. He's in a 40-gallon currently, and he will be upgraded when he gets a little bit bigger, but that's the size he's in currently. Inside those tanks, each of those tanks, you should have a water bowl that's large enough for your bearded dragon to bathe in. You should also have a hide house so they can get away from the heat when they need to, get into like shade and cool down if they have to. A food bowl is necessary with a bearded dragon, and not many people realize, and I will get into that in a little bit. UVB is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Now UVB is really important because UVB is like the sun basically for them. Reptiles need to have sun just like we do. They need to be able to absorb all of the vitamins, the calcium from the sun, so they can grow grow correctly and make sure their bones don't get malnourished or anything. So it's really important to make sure you get that. For Alaska, I have a Zoom Med 10.0 on him, and that's perfect for bearded dragons. I would recommend not using the coil one like I do though. I'd recommend using the one that stretches all across the tank, which I will try to get him soon, but currently he does not have. I broke it while I was moving. Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is heat. Heat's very important for any reptile because they cannot maintain their own body temperatures. They have to have something that maintains it for them. They are cold-blooded. So I said Zay, that's my dog. Alaska has 150 watt bulb on him, which gives him about 100 degree during the day. During the night, he does not have a light on him at all, which maintains about a 75 to 80 degree during like the whole night, so that's pretty good. During the winter, I do have to put a red light on him, which I haven't had him during the winter yet, so during the winter I will have to put a red light on him. So if you're getting a baby or if you're getting an adult, the heat does change. Sorry, my pen's like flying around. I'm talking with my hands and I don't want it to be in the video, so my hands are on the table, but I have the pen in my hands because I'm crossing out as we go here, so I don't make sure I'm trying to get everything on the list. Okay, so there goes my background. So I just moved, as I probably, if you didn't watch the makeup video, I just moved literally, and this is my like temporary background because I have stuff all through my room and I don't want everyone to see it. Okay. So as I was saying, if you're having an adult bearded dragon or a baby bearded dragon, the temperatures do have to change. So, and the temperatures change during night and day. So during the day, you should have, for an adult a baby bearded dragon, your temperature throughout the whole tank should be about 110. You can go down to 95 for in your cool side, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then about, on your hot side should be about 110, and your basking should be about 120. Basking is really important because they need to be able to go somewhere to get more heat if need be. The cool side is where your water bowl will be, and that's so they can cool down if need be. Your hide should actually be on your hot side because even though you have a hide house, it's still good for them to be able to get a lot of heat underneath the hide. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is for night for babies, and that should be about 90 degrees, no lower. You can go a little higher to like 95, but I want to go to 100. It's just going to be too hot for them. The next thing I'm going to talk about is for adult bearded dragons during the day, and that should be about 100 degrees like Alaska's, and this is for subadults as well. It should be about 100 degrees, and then the basking should be about 110, which is about what Alaska's is. And then at night, I would not go lower than 80. 80 is your absolute lowest, just like 90 is for the babies. I would say you're fine to go up to 90 to 95 for them at night, but definitely don't go lower. So you can, to get heat to the point where you need to, you can use heat lights like I do. You can also use heating pads which go underneath the tank. I did use that with Alaska, and during like the winter month I had him, which was March. So I will do that again, but do not use the heating rocks because I've known some people who have, and they've actually got their animals burnt. So definitely don't use those. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is substrate. You should not use substrate in their tanks at all. Bearded dragons will literally eat, well at least mine does, will eat anything I put in his tank. If I put sand in his tank, he would eat it. If I put walnut shells in his tank, he'll eat it. And he can get impaction very easily. Definitely don't use it with the babies because they will get impaction very easily. And if you're not familiar with impaction, impaction is basically when a reptile eats something that they're not supposed to and it gets stuck in their stomachs, which could happen to Alaska because he did just eat fake plants, which I'm going to get to in a second why he did that. Decorations are really important for them because you need to have certain like surfaces for them to climb on. The decorations I like to include in Alaska's tanks are rock, fake plants, driftwood, stuff like that. I'm sorry, let me back up for a second. You don't want to have a clear bottom either because they will get scared of the reflection. So make sure to include tile. Put tile down in their tank. I don't know why I didn't say that. It's literally on the paper, but no sand, put tile. Now back to decorations. Make sure you have many surfaces in their tank. Also, if you put rocks in their tank, it's really good for them to climb on. Also, it will take their nails down a little bit. Their nails can get really sharp and it hurts on your hands. So what I also like to do is put sandpaper in there and it will remove their sharp nails. You can also use what is it called? Wow, what is that called? I can't even remember. Excavator clay, and that can be used to make backgrounds and hide houses and stuff. And I will show you that. It's not in his tank, but I will post a video of me using it in a different tank. And that's really good, and it also will help remove their their nails. So you can include live plants in their tanks, and that's why Alaska is eating his fake plants currently, because I spit everywhere and it got on my lip. Oops. I included a live plant in his tank during the summer, and he was eating it and he ate it all, and I never replaced it. And so this plant, the fake plant that I just bought him and put in there last night, looks exactly like the live plant, and he's eating it because he thinks it's a live plant, and it's not. So it's now out of his tank. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is food. So with bearded dragons, with food, you can get kind of creative with them. There's a lot of things they can eat. They're a lot like humans, but we don't eat bugs, and that's their sample diet, which guess sample. It's something. That's what they eat the most is bugs. And there goes my painting. It's literally as long as my arms, so it's really hard because I got short arms. Let's see if I can like that, if that helps at all. Sure, you guys love seeing me adjust my background. Alright, so should be crickets. They should eat crickets the most. Definitely when they're younger because they need the protein. Now with crickets, there are other things you have to buy than just a cricket. You need about 20 crickets. Matters on your bearded dragon, matters on the size. Alaska eats 20 large crickets every other day. You do feed bearded dragons every other day. Along with crickets, you need cricket food. So these are the cricket foods that I found to be the most like available. I hate them both. I won't use them at all. So this is technically cricket gel, which is more like their water. And I don't like it that it's blue because that means that there's something in it that's like a dye. And yeah, blue #1's in it, and I'm not a fan. Then there's this, and I'm not a fan of this either, but this is their water and their food and their vitamins, which is pretty good, but I'm still not a fan. So this is the cricket gel that I use, and I got this from a reptile show. And then this is the cricket food I use, and I got this from a reptile show. And I will do a whole video on crickets because they're really important, but that's just like a quick story. If you have to buy one, buy this one, but try not to, and try to look up how to make cricket gel and stuff, and I will have a video uploaded shortly about that. But along with crickets, you have to dust them. So I dust my crickets in 2 different types of powder, and this is Repta Calcium. Now this is really important. It sounds like there's water in there. It's a powder, just to show you. Oh my god, I got it all over your place. It's a powder, and it's everywhere now. Great, go me, yes, yay. And sorry, let's continue on this. This is really important. This is just like the UVB. They have to have it so their bones get well nourished. They can get like kinks in their tails and stuff, and I will post pictures of that. Mine do not have that luckily, but they can get that very easily without having this stuff. The other thing that I dust my crickets in is Reptivitamin, and this is really important because this is reptiles' vitamins. This is calcium, this is vitamins. And it's really good to have this for them. They say dust, 12 crickets per week. I don't do that. I sprinkle a little bit in with my crickets, a little bit of this in, and then I shake them up in their like little container I have them in, and then go ahead and do that. They get at least 12, which I feel is the most important. They don't get less than 12, but they definitely get at least 12. There's another thing you can get for bearded dragons, and it's the processed food. Alaska's had this I've had this since I got Alaska. I've given it to him a couple times. He's never eaten it, and we just moved, and I was like, you know what, let me try it one more time. And he ate a little bit of it, and it's still in his tank, and he still hates it, but he did eat a little bit of it. This is processed food, and they have it for juvenile bearded dragons and adult bearded dragons. So this is the one I used for Alaska. This is Zoomed, and this is really good if you can get them to eat it, but I wouldn't recommend making it their main diet. Make it like a little snack you give them here and there. Other insects you can give bearded dragons are hornworms, mealworms, nightcrawler, superworms, fruit flies. Just make sure that you get them captive bred and you don't go outside and catch them because they could have something like a disease and it will continue onto your bearded dragon. The other thing about bearded dragons is that they have to have a salad. So their salad should be like mustard greens or collard greens. Try not to use kale, try not to use romaine lettuce, try not to use like lettuce in general because it's actually not good for them. It doesn't contain the nutritional value that they need. I don't like that being in the shot, sorry. It doesn't contain the nutritional value that they need, and that's really important for them to be able to get their greens in. Also, that's how they absorb some of their water, so make sure you spray it down with water before you give it to them, and you can sprinkle some of the calcium on top of it. It never hurts them. Try not to do the Repta vitamins though, because you're only supposed to give them so much of that a week. Also, in your salads, you can include strawberries, bananas, apples. You can go crazy. I will have a list posted of everything you can include in that. So, with food. Oh, one more thing. Adults can have pinkies, which should be frozen mice. Frozen, wow, I can't talk. Frozen thawed mice. You should only give them to them this very rarely, once every 6 months, not even. Try to do once every year. They're very fat, and if you're trying to bulk up your bearded dragon, then that's a good option. Do it once every month, but they're very hard for them to digest the bones, so try not to do it too much. So, with adults, they need to have 85% greens. So that's, if you're feeding 4 days a week, because you feed every other day, so you're 4 days a week, 3 out of those 4 days should be a salad day. And then the other day should be you're giving crickets. If you're feeding a baby, 50-50. So one day you do salad, one day you do the other thing, back and forth, back and forth. If you aren't doing that, it can mess them up a little bit and kind of ruin like their bodies just a little bit. So do make sure that you're giving them a moderate amount. So I'm going to go ahead and show you Alaska's tank. So this is Alaska's tank. I'm just going to run through everything that's in it really quick, starting with the top. This is his heat bulb. I don't know what exactly bulb's in here. I just know it's a 150. And I believe this is a Zoo Med light. I might be wrong about that, but I like this light the best for him because it does have the switch right there. This is his UVB, and I know I already said what that is. And then, as you can see, there's his water bowl, there's his food bowl with his processed food in it that he hates. There's one of his fake plants that he hasn't eaten yet. I'm going to show you the fake plant that he's eating. It's that one back there. I put it in a different tank, but that's the plant he was eating. There's Alaska. There's a hammock in there. And so this is the cool side, and this is the hot side. On the hot side, he does have 2 thermometers back there because I couldn't read the one, so I put another one in there. And there should be one on the cool side as well, but he only has one in there. Also, he should have a oh my gosh, it's like the one that measures the moisture in the tank. So also make sure you get one of those. And I spray him down once a day in the morning just because I do like it to be around 20 in there, because if he is shedding, like his tail's about to shed, as you can see. So it helps them shed a little bit better. But that is his tank, and that's Alaska. I really hope you enjoyed my video. If there's any other animals you want to see care videos on, let me know and I will do them. Thanks for watching.